Okay, what a beautiful day. Whoa. Whoa. It's just beautiful. It's June, early June. Temperature's not been really hot. We haven't seen, hot summer temperatures yet. And it is just, we've had real nice rains, so the ground is moist and everything's growing. It's just beautiful. Temperature, everything has been really good. Been a very merciful summer so far. Haven't seen any 100+ degree days or dry days. It's been very mercifully beautiful and wonderful here. This message is a fresh bread message. Fresh bread, because I had no idea of this term, mercy shift, till it started stirring in me this morning. Mercy shift. Have you ever heard of that? Big Daddy's mercy endures forever. Let me get my digital Bible. It's called a laptop. His mercy endures forever. Big Daddy. Now, I call him Big Daddy because he's big and he's my daddy. We're referring to the Most High One. Yeshua's Father, Jesus' Father. The one who is above all else. The one who showed up on the mountain, Mount Sinai, however you pronounce it, when the Israelites were brought out of Egypt and were heading to the promised land. There was a mercy shift during that process. But Big Daddy is the guy that settled down on the mountain, and Moses had to go up there to be with him to get some information and bring it back down to the people. Now Big Daddy is settled on the mountain, and he's calling us to go up the mountain and meet with him personally, be tutored by him. John, in one of his 3 letters, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, don't know which one. I could look it up, but it doesn't matter right now. John said, you have no need that man teach you. Basically, you can go up the mountain. The veil's been torn. We have access, those who are the little children of the Most High, Big Daddy. We have access. We can go up the mountain. We can go into the secret place, and we can be personally tutored by the Father of all creation, the Father of Jesus, the one whose mercy endures forever. So I did a search of that, mercy endureth forever, because I use the King James as my English, because that's what I'm used to. And it's amazing that it's in there 41 times. Mercy endureth forever. 41 times. And in Psalm 136, it's like in every verse. Big Daddy's mercy endures forever. But sometimes there's a mercy shift. Sometimes his mercy and when people, including me, for many years, when something wasn't working the way I thought it was supposed to work, when something wasn't happening according to the religious teaching that I was under and believing and a part of, when I was religiously minded and really trying hard to do a good job at accomplishing religious mindedness. His mercy endured, but sometimes when there was a shift, and I would get mad and, what are you doing? Why? Questions like that start with why? Here's Star coming over here. If she bumps the tripod, sorry, it's one of my German Shepherd dogs. Why? So when we don't understand why his mercy just shifted. It's for us. Mercy shifts are for our good. Although in a mercy shift, someone or even a nation of someone's could be being crushed because his mercy has had to shift. Mercy shift. Jonah. There's a little book in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament, whatever, and it's Jonah or Yonah or however you pronounce it. I don't know, but there's a little book. Cool little book. It's about this guy, Jonah. He's a prophet. Big Daddy says, hey, I want you to go to Nineveh and tell those people. Now, these were like people in modern day Iraq. These were not the chosen people. This was not a part of Israel or Judah. This was those people. And Big Daddy said, hey, because of his mercy, he said, hey, Jonah, head that way to Nineveh. I have some things I want to say to them through you. He goes opposite direction. He ends up, now, he goes all the way to the coast. Now think about it. They didn't have like commuter trains and buses and whatever. He had to somehow get all the way to the coast to pay money to get on a ship to go out into the Mediterranean Sea, to go somewhere, anywhere but Nineveh. So Daddy's mercy was enduring. Now, Daddy could have, as soon as he started heading toward the coast, which took some kind of time for him to walk or ride a donkey or whatever, camel, who knows how he got there. Doesn't matter. Daddy was merciful in allowing him to go there. But Daddy could have, if he were thinking like we think, he could have, as soon as Jonah turned and headed toward the coast, he could have stopped him with like a lightning bolt. Boom! Hey, bruh, you're going the wrong way. I told you to go that way. Oh, gosh, okay. And he turns around. You know, Daddy could have done that, but his ways are not our ways. His ways are above our ways. And his mercy was enduring through that whole thing. His mercy endures forever. He was merciful toward Jonah and toward those Ninevites. Don't forget that. There was a lot of mercy going on in this story. So Jonah is allowed to, in Big Daddy's mercy, he was allowed to get all the way to the coast, find the ship that he wanted to have passage on, find the little ticket counter, or pay the guy, money, reaching into his bag, gives him some money to get on the ship and go that way instead of that way. But Big Daddy's mercy was enduring because it endures forever. See, Jonah was a part of a huge sign. It was not only, wow, the mercy of those days was, if you think about all this. You got Nineveh over here, Big Daddy wanting them and knowing that they are going to humble themselves and avert tragedy, national crushing. He knew they were going to humble themselves. So he had to send one of his people over there to tell them what Daddy was saying to them so that they would humble themselves, so that mercy that endures forever could be on them, Gentiles. But his mercy was operating. Jonah, in his disobedience, was under mercy, allowed to do whatever he did, gets on the ship. All of a sudden, this storm comes up. And these professional sailors are like, wow, this is like a God storm. This is not a normal storm. Something, everybody start praying to your gods. Whoever your God is, start praying. We're going to start doing sacrificing, and we're going to fast. Everybody's going to not eat. We're going to do what we have to do to get this God storm off of us so that we can live. You know, that was going on the boat. And of course, Jonah was down in the bottom of the boat trying to hide, and Daddy's mercy was enduring and rocking. The heavy-duty storm was a part of the mercy of our Father. Whoa. Now, think about this. Storm, guys in a boat, professionals, thinking they're going to die, and yet mercy was enduring. Think about another really big boat, more like a barge, with a lot of animals on board and 8 humans. A lot of mercy going on in that story. And in that story, and in the 2 boat stories we just talked about, professional seafarers, fishermen, storm, there was a mercy shift. So Jonah says, hey, it's my fault. Throw me overboard. They're like, oh, no, man, we can't do that. We're not going to throw you overboard. They turn up the heat. They turn up the crying out to their gods. They do everything they can. And finally, they're like, bro, we are just about to be, the whole ship's going to be broken up. We're all going to die. I hate to do this, but you said throw you overboard because this is your fault because you were disobedient to your God. Well, I hate to do this, but come on, let's throw him overboard. We have, what else can we do? We're all about to die, so they throw him overboard, and the storm, mercy shift. Jonah's swallowed by this big fish, and he's in him for 3 days, and the big fish is commanded to vomit him up 3 days later. So he vomits him up near enough to shore so that Jonah can come out, and he makes the long trek from the Mediterranean Sea all the way to Nineveh. It's a long way. And then he tells them what Daddy tells them, the whole region, big populated area, the whole region, from the king down. I think even the animals, they put them on a fast. Everybody repented. Everybody humbled themselves. Everybody. And there was a mercy shift. Because Daddy sent Jonah there to tell him, in 40 days, you guys are going to be wiped out. There's about to be a mercy shift. You're going to be wiped out because the iniquity and the wickedness and the evil has just gotten so out of control. My mercy has to shift. This is Big Daddy talking. I'm paraphrasing. My mercy has to shift to pour your iniquity out on your area, and you bear the fruit of that. So, he goes there, gives the message. Jonah goes to Nineveh, gives the message, and they actually repent. They actually humble themselves. I mean, they get in the dirt. They put ashes on them, put on clothing made out of burlap bag material kind of stuff. I mean, they all fasted. The whole country fasted. And if I'm not incorrect, I think even they put the animals on a fast. This whole region or whole nation state went into a humble position and there was a mercy shift. Mercy can shift and bring about huge crushing storms. Mercy can shift and not bring about huge crushing storms. But his mercy endures forever. Now, all this started, I said all that to say this. This morning, second cup of coffee. Hope it's not too cold. Now this morning, these things are kind of going through my head, and they were in result of last night. I'm watching a video, and I think I did a little video on it. When Big Daddy has to come in and crush, when he has to crush, it's because his mercy that endures forever has shifted. There was a time when all the people on the earth were just so out of control, so wicked, so violent. Every thought in man's head was against the thoughts of the Father. They were absolutely wicked and horrible. And their mercy had to shift. Told Noah to build the boat, built the boat, rose up on the waters above the flood, and everybody died. That was a merciful act. A merciful act in Nineveh's place was they were saved from crushing because they all humbled themselves. All of them. So that was a mercy shift. See, mercy shift can bring about crushing. Mercy shift can bring about saving, but his mercy endures forever. That's what's going on. Now, let's come back here to the country I live in. He was showing me that there are bowls, and some of these bowls are like huge, as big as 5 states, like as big as a big hurricane. Okay? Imagine a bowl that big. Huge, huge, huge bowl sitting right on top of the United States, kind of hovering over the atmosphere over the United States. This bowl, this huge bowl, as big as Texas bowl. Everybody in Texas said, yeah. This bowl is an iniquity collection device. All the iniquity of the country is going into this bowl. Now, when we humble ourselves, and as a country, we don't show much iniquity, and the bowl's being filled very, very, very slowly, or maybe even there's so much humility in the country, it's going down the amount of iniquity and wickedness. But there comes a time when the bowl begins to fill, and it gets a little faster, and it fills faster, and it fills faster. The more pridefulness, the more richness, the more, ooh, look at me. Ooh, look what I've got. Ooh, I'm going to buy this car because this makes me look good. I'm going to get that. Ooh, that's a good looking blah. That's a good looking blah. He's a good looking, she's a good looking, me, my, who. When that starts happening in any nation, pridefulness, wickedness, selfishness, which I have been guilty of all of the above more than you all. Okay, I'm the least of the saints. Get that. But that bowl starts getting more and more full, faster. You know, a really nice house in the United States back in the 50s, 1950s. Really nice house in the 1970s, big change. Really nice house in the 1990s, another big change. Way more elaborate, way more stuff, way more nice, way more all this. Wow, just the nicest houses of the 50s and the 70s and the 90s and the 2000 teens. I mean, the houses just kept getting bigger and richer and more. Wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. Wow, man, good gracious. I mean, a really nice house nowadays is so got so much money and richness poured into it that it makes really nice houses of the 1950s kind of like, that's not nice. You know, we've just gotten so rich and so heady and so high-minded and so about ourselves and so depraved. Me being one of the most worst. But as a nation, we have not even begun to humble ourselves. And all this was just really fast in here, going up into here, so that I might say it from here. His mercy endures forever. But when this bowl of iniquity, either over a person, a household, a business, a region, a city, a state, whatever, a nation, when the bowl of iniquity gets full, Daddy's merciful, probably should have had some judgment coming on this country that I live in a long time ago if my thought processes were involved, but they're not. Daddy's ways are above our ways. He's way more merciful than we are. I mean, if I were Big Daddy, I would have chopped down a bunch of stuff a long time ago. Try to turn this nation in the other direction. But his mercy, which endures forever, has to allow for that bowl to be full before it gets full. When it gets full, when the depravities and the wickedness and the violence, when it causes that bowl to be full, then he takes that bowl and just pours it out on that person, those people, that region, that nation. And you would think his mercy just ran out when he took that bowl that was finally full of horribleness and pours it out on the nation. You would think, wow, his mercy just ran out because he just... No, that was a mercy shift. When he takes the bowl, does he like doing this? I'm thinking not. Does he love doing this? Absolutely. Because his mercy has shifted into a new plane. Because he's being forced by the people to pour the now full bowl of iniquity and depravity out on that people. Now, why is that merciful? Because he knows that a crushing is the only thing. He's been merciful. He's been merciful. He's been merciful. He continues to be merciful. But the mercy shift of having the bowl poured out on them. Still mercy, but that's the only way, crushing, the only way for that people or that person or that family or that city or that religious system, whatever. It's the only way for them to finally turn their hearts toward Him. They've gotten to a place to where there's no turning back. There's no possible way for the country to humble themselves. Although Nineveh did, there's no way for a country to humble themselves when that bowl of iniquity is full. The bowl of iniquity was nearly full in Nineveh. Now, a lot of things had happened prior to Jonah arriving there. We won't get into that. The eclipses and they were kind of prepared for a repenting time as a nation. But Daddy said there's about to be a mercy shift. Because the bowl over America is almost full. And He takes this bowl once filled and pours it out on the nation, not only as a mercy shift, but as a love gift. It pleased Him for His Son to have to go through what He went through, because we, His little children, were on the other side of that cross. It will please Big Daddy if He pours this bowl out on this country that I'm living in. And maybe your country, if you're from a different country. Maybe this is ringing true to you also. His mercy and His love are evident in the pouring out, because that, at that point, that's the only thing that will bring the nation to the point of humility. Mercy shifts are a good thing. Whether they shift toward rebuilding in Nineveh's case, or they shift toward total destruction, like in Israel's case. They just got so away from the Father and so out of control and so selfish and so rich and so, that He had to send the Babylonian army in to just destroy His own temple and kill whatever number of them and take the rest of them back as slaves, and kept them there for 70 years. That was a mercy shift, and it was a loving mercy shift. His mercy endures forever. The Hebrew word Hesed, wow, huge word. Impossible to fully define or translate, but Hesed, in a short version, means Big Daddy's loving kindness and tender mercies. It's loving kindness and tender mercy that reaches down, takes the bowl, now full, and pours it out on those who filled the bowl. To, through crushing, bring them to that place of humility. Remember 9/11? Talking to America, remember 9/11? I remember. Listening to the radio on the way to work, I'm like, what? Do what? A plane did what? Get to work, turn the TV on. They already, my employees already had the TV on. What's it? Remember 9/11? It was on a Tuesday, if I remember correctly. Remember that night? Everybody was huddled up in the churches. Whoa, a crushing took place. A mercy shift happened. A loving kindness, tender mercy event took place. And boy, it drove us to the altar of somewhat humility. Not totally humility, because we just kind of like, ooh, and then popped our head up a few days later. Everything looks okay. We go back to doing what we were doing. And that's what I did. That's what we did as a nation. And the bowl was just continuing to get full. We did not listen. Did not listen. We listened for a little short period of time. Just a little listen. Oh, it's okay. Let's get going again. Mercy shift. Gosh, this is over 30 minutes. You know what? It doesn't matter. Times that we have our teachings in a certain amount of time so that we can be pleased with our own self and our own religious structure and our own desires, our wants, needs, and desires, WNDs, as I call them. WNDs become WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. They fill the bowl when we're most concerned or completely concerned about our own wants, needs, and desires. They become weapons of mass destruction. They pour like a fire hose pours into the bowl when our wants, needs, and desires are all we seek after. First love. I knew about Daddy, but I didn't really know him until 13 years ago. That's when I began to know him. I didn't even know him. So obviously, prior to that, all the religious things I was trying to accomplish and do first love was not him. And first love can change. First love can be, ooh, I'm really in love with this. I want to get this. Ooh, that house. I want to get that. Ooh, that job, that business, that this. This child, that child, those children. This first love can bounce all over the place in your head. Bing, 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 bing. I'm first love to this now. I'm first love to that now. I'm first love to this, first love. But when first love, is set When our heart's love is set on our Father's heart. Oh. When we seek first His kingdom means His ways, His perspective, His thoughts, His mercy, His loving kindness. When we seek first His kingdom, all this stuff that we're all WNDs, wants, needs, and desires, all that stuff just comes, everything we need just comes automatically. It just comes when we have as our first love, when we're seeking first Big Daddy's place, and Big Daddy's secret hidden place, and Big Daddy's thoughts, and Big Daddy's little whisperings in our spirit, so that we can have them, and they're like fresh bread for the day. Give us today our daily bread. Us, globally, all of us as a family, give us today our daily bread. Even when it comes in this little whisper, this still small voice, there's a mercy shift coming. Mercy shift. And all this stuff. Mercy shift. When we are seeking His kingdom first, wow, all kind of wonderful things happen. But the best part of the things that happen are His fresh bread, His still small voice speaking to us as individuals. It takes all of us. Our Father who is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread. We don't go to Big Daddy in prayer. Yeshua said pray to Him, not to him. Nothing wrong with Yeshua or praying to Him. He just said don't do that, pray to Big Daddy. But anyway, when we go to our Father and we pray, we are praying as one of a body of us. Our Father, give us our daily bread. Forgive us. Oh, forgive us as we forgive others. Whoa. Mercy shift. Mercy shift. Wow, then what you're saying is a mercy shift could be really bad or it could be really good. No, mercy shifts are always really good. It may seem really bad because we're using this, but when we seek first and we hear our Father's voice and He shows us things to come, the Ruach HaKodesh, translated as the Holy Spirit, He will show you things to come. He's speaking to His little children who have humbled themselves as a little child to go in and spend time with Him every day, every day, every day. The Spirit, His breath will show you things to come. Mercy shift. And whether it looks good or whether it looks bad, that doesn't make it, ooh, that's a good mercy shift. Ooh, that's a bad mercy shift. Mercy shifts are always good. When Daddy has to shift gears on mercy, it's for goodness to emerge. That's enough.